The following is a production of Create at Morgan Studios. All right, welcome back to Nerds by Screenlight. My name is Aaron.
I'm Phil.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Zoe.
And so today we are diving into Beverly Hills Ninja. But before we do that, Phil had proposed that we have a conversation about Joker. What was it called? Joker Folie Deux? Folie Deux?
Yeah, it's full of dew is what it is.
Zoe is shaking
Zoe
her
is
head.
already shaking her head. So I have not seen it, but I have read a lot of reviews.
Spoilers, because I'm sure he's going to tell you the end.
Yeah. So
Well, I was going to say, if you don't want to do spoilers,
No, let's
we
do it.
Maybe don't listen to this.
Yeah, just
skip ahead about what
Podcast
20 minutes.
20 minutes. We're gonna do this for 20 minutes.
No, I'm like
Well,
10,
all right then.
good 10
Buckle
minutes.
up, buckaroos. Let's do this.
I don't need 20 minutes. I can do it in 3.
You're like, I got. Give it 2 minutes. Give me a 2-minute warning. I'll take care of this. All right. I don't know when you suddenly became a boxer in a boxing ring, sounding like Muhammad Ali, but
I don't know.
We have boxing gloves if
yeah.
you want to look for it.
If you need to express your aggression about Joker Part Do or Do or Doi or whatever they're calling it these
Duh.
days,
Deuce.
Deuce. Bigelow, male gigolo. I don't know. That's a movie.
Yeah, it is a movie.
So, I guess, should we start with Zoe? Because Zoe probably will have the more
No, go ahead. I've heard this like for over a week.
Okay.
Well, the funny thing is last night I was sitting, like I was messaging my mom, and,
Yeah.
and then I all of a sudden remembered that I saw it.
Okay.
Wow.
Like I had forgotten that I had seen the movie.
Okay.
But this is why it's bad.
Okay.
The movie starts.
Yeah.
He is being escorted down a hallway.
Yeah.
He gets put into a TV room where all the patients can watch TV.
Right.
And they're like, "Hey, Joker, you're on TV." That does not happen. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. They're walking him down the hallway.
Uh-huh.
They take him into the TV room. If you cut out everything that does not actually happen
Right.
in real life,
Yeah.
the movie is 5 minutes long.
Oh.
Because the real ending is everything after this point is in his mind. And then it cuts back to like reality, and they're like, "Hey, you have a visitor," and he's walking down the hallway, and this is where like it would be like his therapist.
Uh-huh.
But instead, he gets shanked in a hallway by some dude who then carves a smile into their face. So it's like
Okay.
Yeah.
so it's like 90% of the movie does not exist. It just he just dies.
It's a dream.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
Super
it's a
Mario 2.
fantasy, but yeah.
So my understanding, and Zoe, this is where you can fact check me because you have seen the movie, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was there.
Yeah.
She was like, I witnessed it. I was party to this adventure.
You told me today that you really liked it.
I did really like it. It was just sad
Okay.
because he dies, and that's very tragic to me. But
Oh yeah, any death is tragic, of course. So what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was amazing because it starts out with like the old school like Joker cartoon,
Uh-huh.
The cartoon was cool.
and he's like fighting with his shadow,
Uh-huh.
which I think is just really cool, like psychologically, because like you have your shadow self, and I just thought that was really cool. And then I loved all the music.
Because it was a musical, right?
Yes.
I did
Yeah,
not.
surprise.
I thought it was all fitting. I thought it all was cohesive because they used songs from the first movie to kind of like go into the second movie.
Okay.
I disliked 80% of the songs.
Okay.
Because obviously you don't know them. I don't know because they're like classics. But anyways,
Like what?
Like Bee Gees and
yeah, like
Oh,
you know
like
stuff I
Staying
like.
Alive.
Yeah,
but not Staying Alive.
but not Stay Alive.
Oh.
Because Joker doesn't stay alive. Huh?
But the whole fantasy is him like going on trial as the Joker, and he is representing himself.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And
Also, because it's a fantasy, he makes up Harley Quinn in his mind. She is not technically a real person.
Oh, that's a step
And
up from the girl.
so they
from the first
ruin
film.
her story.
Right. So
There's a lot bad.
okay.
to me, it's like if he had like an actual, real good connection with someone, he probably would have been okay, and he probably would have lived, and maybe not even gone to the mental hospital to begin with.
In reality, this movie lasted 5 minutes.
Oh my lord!
So
Like,
I feel like Aaron, this would drive you crazy too if you
well,
saw
so
it.
here's the thing. So this is modern Hollywood in a lot of its at its best and at its worst.
Yeah.
I mean, we all were here for the podcast when we talked about Joker and how much I did not enjoy my experience. Now, again, my criticism, my statement was, as a film critic, if I was to evaluate it from the film perspective of filmography and all the methods and the means and all that, like, yeah, it would get a above passing grade from the mechanical perspective, right? You look at an essay and you go, okay, grammatically it makes sense. The sentence construction is good. The paragraphs are fine. The apostrophes are fine. Those are really excellent. But if the substance of that is just meh, that was my problem with Joker, is that it was not a fun watch. And yes, that was the intention. Yeah, whatever, yada yada. So what it had going for it is that it had done a really strong job of really pushing the letter or pushing the envelope, if you will, within the genre. And with Joaquin Phoenix, of course, you've got an incredibly powerful actor, and with Lady Gaga, who has both the pipes for music and the pipes for acting, which she has proven repeatedly across multiple movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
You have that, and what people I think were frustrated with, and in their defense, but also in your defense, you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, you were a very small percentage of the people of the movie, because here's the thing: people don't like musicals.
That's a shame.
But here's the thing: mainstream American movie audiences don't.
Well, that's sad.
What about Hamilton?
Yeah.
Hamilton is the exception because Hamilton was first on stage, and so it had all of that going for it. So when it hit Disney Plus, people were primed. On top of it, you have Lin-Manuel Miranda. You have all his cast. You have all that power. So that had been going on for years before it went on Disney Plus and became the thing that it was. Additionally, it was portrayed on stage where it belonged, at least where people believed it to belong, right? Mm-hmm. Because musicals are supposed to be on stage, in an opera house, in a show, at a playhouse, whatever. That's where musicals go. Musicals otherwise are either the purview of Disney. Not a lot of other movies in the last couple of years or more than a couple of years have been musicals. And so in their defense, but also in your defense, it's really an odd duck of a movie because it hits a certain market. Like, you enjoyed it. You love the characterization. You love the deep trawling of the human spirit and of the study. And I mean, it's a counselor's dream to really dig into the characterizations.
Yeah.
The problem is nobody else wanted to see that. They were looking for more of what they had in that first movie, which is the hard-hitting, gritty, and some of the first movie was dream, but a good portion of it was real.
Yeah.
And so I think what hurts their case is people. There's this thing in Hollywood, and it used to be in books and probably still is, but in TVs or shows or episodes where there would be like an episode, there'd be a movie, and then at the end it was a dream. It was all a dream.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It is, again, as a writer, it is something they tell you in both when you're going through high school and when you go into college to take writing classes. They tell you, do not do this. It's a cheater's way out. You are cheapening the experience because by the time your reader or your viewer gets to the end of your episode or your movie and it's a dream, to your point, what you said, nothing matters. That entire experience is a waste. Now,
this is a Super Mario 2 effect.
right? Yeah. So it's the problem is that you go to see movies to see the lasting impact and to see the character's arc, negatively or positively. And in the Joker sequels case, people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is very interesting." Okay, it's a musical, whatever. But then you get to the point where it's like, "Well, it's all just a dream," and then he dies in the end. And it's like, so what was the point?
So if you take all the parts that were in reality,
Yeah.
it's walking down the hallway, gets
Yeah.
called, you got a visitor and shanked in that hallway.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
So as a when you talk about the overall audience, they're not gonna, if they go see it, they're gonna be upset, which they are, and they were, and that's why it's doing as it's doing. The thing about it is that it's Joaquin Phoenix and the crew. Like, they were probably going for like, ooh, let's subvert expectations. Let's go crazy. Let's amp up what we already did. Well, you did, and people didn't want it.
So on our way back from Zoe's friend's wedding,
Yeah.
Zoe and I had like a pretty lengthy conversation about this movie because we do have different opinions on it. And
Right.
This is. Do you remember what I said?
I'm really tired, so no, I don't remember
It's been a
what
long
you said.
day.
I said that as as a movie about mental health
Mm-hmm.
and about stuff like that, and the actors were great. Joaquin was great.
Yeah.
I almost just called her Harley Quinn. Lady Gaga was great.
Yeah.
All the characters are great. And in the aspect of it being a movie about mental health,
Yeah.
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
A movie about the Joker, awful,
Right.
awful.
Right. So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that they use music as a form of communicating emotions because it's only Harley and the Joker that ever sing to one another.
Yeah.
And it's like conveying like how they feel about one another.
Yeah.
And then like towards the end of their relationship,
Right.
he's like, stop singing. Like, I just want to talk to you. And she just keeps singing and she leaves him.
Yeah.
And because she's like, you're not the person like I thought you were
Right.
ultimately.
Right. Here's the thing. So again, I will probably, if I watch it, I'm going to be doing a lot of fast forwarding, but I'll sit down and suffer through it. I think what.
It's not as gory as the
It's
first
definitely not.
Okay. Well, that's helpful because that one was woo.
Yeah.
It's more like a cartoonish thing. Like there's
Right.
one
Yeah.
scene where he hits the judge with the gavel, but
Yeah.
the gavel is like
Massive.
overly,
Okay.
and there's no blood or anything in
Yeah.
that scene.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. I think here's the thing. Hollywood, at its core, I'm just speaking big Hollywood, of course. They know what works. Like they know the movies that hit that are good and people respond to. There's this weird phenomenon that, again, it's just a me opinion, me view, that Hollywood knows what works, but they sometimes just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're gonna do something cool. We're gonna do some artsy fartsy. We're gonna do some art film, and it's like, okay, we don't care. Like you have a market. There are art houses and art cinemas across the country that will play your stuff, but you made a mainstream movie and then wondered why nobody was happy about it because you took a story that we know and love, and there's a lot of material with the Joker and Harley Quinn between the animated series, the comics. There is so much material to mine for that kind of a movie. And you went with a musical, and you went with it being in his head. Huh?
I can't. What is the stupid one? The Squad, whatever.
Oh, Suicide Squad?
See, like, I hate that Joker with a passion. I
Yeah.
think it's just over campy and
Yeah.
just like,
Nobody liked
never
this-
seen it.
Nobody liked, because there was like, what, 2 Suicide Squad movies?
yes.
Yeah.
Nobody liked either of them.
I like Harley Quinn, but the Joker sucks.
I feel like she's the only character in those that
Literally.
people
I think it's
really
Jared
like.
Leto who plays the Joker in that. And people didn't like it.
With his grill and his.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was like.
They were trying to
no.
be super edgy with it.
It was
Right.
weird to see that because he was like a heartthrob.
Yeah, like-
when I was a kid.
Totally.
Well, he was ugly, and it wasn't
Yeah,
pretty,
it
and
was
nobody
not
liked
pretty.
it. There's this. I think there's this thing where people are like, we want to watch good, fun popcorn movies. There's a reason why Robert Pattinson's Batman did so well.
Oh, I
because,
love that.
because it knows its source material, it understands its source material, and it lets its audience know, yep, we're doing it a little differently, but it's still going to tell a story that you know and you want to see the end of.
Totally.
With the Joker, it just feels like you had a great opening act, and then you did this, and now nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see the next chapter in this. Well, obviously he's dead, so it's just like, well, what's the point? Why? No, we don't. Why?
Yeah.
Again, this goes back to DC Comics. For whatever reason, they can't get their movies right. They can't get this stuff figured out. I mean, Avengers isn't doing any better right now. They're having to redo a whole bunch. Anyway, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. We've talked for long enough.
Well, for you, Vicky, they do a cute little song, and it's like Sonny and Cher vibes.
Oh, nice.
So she's like in this nice like.
Although that is kind of
70s
ironic
jumper.
when you think about the Sonny and Cher story.
Yeah. So that was cool.
That's
I
cool.
thought.
all right, well there you
Did
go.
they do "I Got You, Babe" or did they do something original?
I think they did.
They did. Yeah.
They did that song, of course.
Gotta love it. All right, well
I've been hearing that song all over the place lately, by the way.
it's
Popular.
It's immortal. It'll be around for a long time because
classic.
it's got good stuff. All right. Well, we come back. We're gonna get into Beverly Hills Ninja.
Get out your nunchucks. No, don't.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Put away your nunchucks.
You
Put
are
away
not
put
the
away-
great white
Yeah.
ninja.
Put away your Chinese stars. And
Get away
and-
from any shells with
yeah,
breakable
you're right.
objects.
Oh,
Sit
God,
yourself in a chair. Grab a cup of tea and a large functional mug that's not going to fall out of your hands
Or break.
or break.
Oh my god.
And yeah, put on your helmet and get ready because here we go. It's time for the Beverly Hills Ninja. After this, here on Nerds by Screenlight.
Get nerdy with me. Talk nerdy to me. Get nerdy with me. All I really need for you to do is just please
I can stop.
talk to me. Talk nerdy to me.
All right, welcome back to Nerds by Screenlight. My name is Aaron.
I'm Phil.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Zoe.
And, okay, well, so here's the thing. Vicky watched this last night.
I did.
When she got finished watching it, she came up and she was like, so, yeah. And I was like, okay. And in my head, I was like, is there stuff that I'm forgetting about this movie? Has nostalgia papered over another one? And so she's like, yeah, I got thoughts, I got things, I got ideas. I'm like, okay, well, I'll watch it tomorrow or later tonight or whatever, and we'll see what happens. And so I went in going, what did I miss? What did I forget?
Right, yeah.
Now, there is one scene that I absolutely forgot about, and I was like, if you had taken that out of the movie, it would be fine. They go to an adult establishment with
yeah,
adult
that.
activities.
But his
Dancing.
I feel like his dancing kind of
He's
makes it
had
better.
some athletic skills
Yeah.
in general in this
I
film.
think overall. Anyway, I found myself being like, you know what? Aside from the laughing, when they had the laughing stuff that they were going to give him, and he sneezed on it, and everybody got the laughing, whatever. I could have been done without that. But other than
That guy is so annoying.
oh my
so
gosh,
funny though.
yeah, it's and when Chris Farley takes over that character,
does it perfect.
Oh, wow.
it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Ice coat. Who shot the couch?
It's fantastic. So anyway, I found this movie okay. I was relieved to get to the end and be like, you know what? This wasn't as bad. I wasn't as concerned with Vicky's reactions.
It's not really my humor.
Okay.
There are parts that I thought were funny, but there was a lot of it I was just shaking my head going, oh my gosh.
Well, Phil was like, can you just imagine me rolling around like that? Look at him.
Yeah, I'm a big guy. I'm not going to be doing.
Honestly, I
half
wonder
the
if Jack
things.
Black got some of this inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you think of, like, I don't know. I don't look at Chris Farley and think, oh, man, this guy could do, like, pirouettes and, like,
Right.
swing from the ceiling, but he could.
Yeah.
He's an athletic guy.
About the best you can see me do is like where he's hanging from the something and he's just like kicking his feet around.
Are you talking about the tree?
No, it was when he was in the adult establishment.
Oh, yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
hanging from something,
Right.
and he could barely get his feet up going.
Yeah.
and to another thing, Chris Rock is in this movie. Half of Chris Rock's role is literally just an adult joke,
Yep.
strung out,
Yep.
and I did not realize that until watching it this go around.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris.
I missed that.
Chris Farley. Actually, I think demanded that Chris Rock be in this movie. Like,
Yeah, I read that.
He mandated. He was like, he has to be.
Well, they're a great duo
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
They're like friends from when they worked together.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was always a good day when Chris Rock was on set.
Yeah. Chris Rock is funny. He's got him. He's
I
got
like
a,
the scene where he's chasing the chicken.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get started with the opening of the movie.
That the actor they got to play young Chris Farley,
Yeah.
looked spot on.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
and we
So what's the legend?
The Legend of the.
so it's there will be a white baby washed up on the shores of Japan,
Right.
and they're like, we don't know how he got there, but
a
we
treasure
saw it
chest.
because it was a boat. But
Right.
anyways, and so like the legend is like he would be a master ninja like no other.
Yeah.
And I love that because they don't say like what that means.
Right.
And
That's true. It is pretty vague.
it just says like no
He's
other.
just going to
and,
be really unique.
Yeah.
and he is.
And he is.
Yeah,
he
that's
he
true.
is the worst ninja
Yeah.
of all
No
time.
spatial awareness whatsoever.
Yeah.
No.
And
s-
so now we got to talk about my favorite, my beautiful man,
I told you.
Robin.
Give me a heads up about this.
Robin Show. I think that's how you say his name. He plays Gobei, which is Haru's brother,
Yes.
and I don't know what they were. This poor guy.
He gets beat up the whole movie.
Literally.
I thought it was like some kind of like Hollywood ritual or something.
Right.
With the stuff they put him through.
Right.
And like they got the whole nine. Like
all the way till the end.
Yeah.
Farley is just clumsy and
Yeah.
beating up on him
Right.
accidentally through the whole movie.
Yep.
And also through the whole movie, his brother Gobet is saving him
Right.
the entire time.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah.
It is pratfall after pratfall, and it's when you read the history of this movie, when you read back on Chris Farley's reaction, he hated this movie. He cried after he saw
Yeah.
it. He literally cried and was like, "I'm never watching this again. This was my worst movie."
Oh, that makes me feel terrible.
Yeah,
I think it's his worst movie.
he was, and it didn't. I mean, if you really look at like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep and other stuff that he's done, it's not the worst. It's not the best. But it's very much, it plays into his manic style.
Yeah.
Almost to a point of like where it's too much.
So that
yeah, yeah.
was the thing for me where I was just like, it was just.
Well, there were a couple moments where I was like, was he using in this scene? Because like you can just tell he's very like animated.
Well,
and
most of his lines are just "ow" and "ah."
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
Very fair.
He doesn't have a lot that he
But the physical like comedy that he does, I think, is amazing.
yeah.
Just do it. I mean,
Yeah,
wow.
he's all over the place. He's
Yeah, so Chris Farley, according to Bernie Brillston, Chris Farley was so disappointed in this movie that he cried on Brillston's shoulder after the first screening.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Actually, he didn't. When was this movie released?
1997.
What month?
Oh.
Because Chris Farley died in December of 1997.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Hold on.
1997, you have to look for a release date, actually.
okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and get this out of the way.
Yep.
We talked about it on the show before when we did our top 10 movies. This
Yep.
movie is in my top 10.
Yeah.
Like I love this movie, and to find out that like he disliked it that much, like
Yeah.
I
like,
grew
but
up
dude,
watching
it
this
brought
too.
me much joy. Like,
Right.
Release date.
But I
So
think it
according
can
to
show
an A&E biography, Chris Farley hated this movie upon seeing it for the first time and told his agent that he never wanted to do such a movie again. Farley's stance was justified, as it was arguably attributed to the exploitation of his manic physical humor by dumbing it down and playing it all to an almost tiring and foolish degree.
well, that makes sense.
It came out January 17th, 1997. So like
Okay, so it
he
was
had
almost a
left
full
that
year.
whole year. Yeah, lived that whole year. So
Okay. It makes me feel a little better, but still.
that's sad.
What a bummer.
Yeah. It's one of his final roles before his death on December 18th of 1997. And unfortunately, yes, Chris Farley did abuse substances. It was a rough part of his life. He never
Struggled his whole life.
Yep, he never was able to beat it. It didn't help that he probably had people around him that encouraged him and were okay with it. What's funny is that this role was originally written for Dana Carvey, if you can believe it. He came on board back in 1990 when the film was at Universal Imagine. He then backed out of that at the last minute. It was greenlit, ready to go. They were going to pay him a fortune, but when his previous movie, Opportunity Knocks, which none of us remember, obviously, in 1990 flopped, he didn't want to make the same mistake twice. He held off on movie making for a while until Wayne's World in 1992.
Wayne's World.
Yeah, and that of course
I have actually not seen that.
became a role of a lifetime.
Like, yes, he could have done the role, but it would not have been the same. Like it just would not.
This is one of those movies I can't imagine replacing a single cast member. Even down to like the hotel clerk guy.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
I've seen him in something before.
Me too.
All right, you want to hear something really
We
sad?
don't accept wampum.
Oh,
So-
I wonder if it's what I know.
Chris Farley died of a drug overdose nearly a year after the film's release.
Yeah.
Here's the part that really makes you sad. Jason Davis, who played the younger version of Farley's movie, would also die of a drug overdose 23 years later. So 23 years after 1997, the kid who played him
That would
the kid
be
who played
like
him.
2010-ish.
Holy
Yep.
crap.
So speaking of his issues, the whole time Chris Farley was shooting Beverly Hills Ninja, there were no problems whatsoever. He had a relapse before shooting, and then the second relapse came immediately after the film wrapped in May of 1996. When he came back for reshoots, he was a different person. They couldn't make the film match. He'd put on weight and he looked horrible. He wasn't the same old Chris. They had to kind of shoot around him different ways. Other than reshoots on Ninja, he spent the spring and early summer in Chicago, passing time with friends and family and working on his 12-step program. Clearly, that program did not help him get where he needed to get. So, yeah.
Sad.
The thing about Chris Farley is that you watch him and it's insane how talented he was.
Yeah.
It's the same. We look at a lot of those actors who we lost within that time span. It's just they didn't, the people that were around them weren't good enough to prevent them from the edge. So okay, so we have the first scenes where we meet Chris Farley as a young kid, and then we fast forward to when he's actually Chris Farley, the one we know.
I appreciated the scene where there's the boiling water where they're getting the tattoos and he spills it. I was like, I would have done that. 100%.
I'm like, these
100%.
guys have like lived with this guy all this time. They know how he is.
Right, and they're still...
As soon as he went
did
up
not
there, I
prepare.
would have moved to the back.
Right. Well, and what I think...
Well, there's honor shame too. Maybe
Right.
they didn't want him to feel
Right.
embarrassed.
Maybe he's got it this time, folks. Maybe he's got it.
Maybe. Nope, he doesn't. He does not have
Well,
it.
like when his brother like is saying all these nice things about him to his dad, and then he's like, "What do you really?"
Well,
think
sensei.
about him?"
but
He's an
yeah.
idiot. The worst ninja
He's fat.
ever.
He's a fool. He's incompetent in every way.
And he's like, I'm gonna miss him. And he's like, well, you're not gonna miss him because you're going with him.
Yep.
So,
you can't be serious.
so we're getting a little forward ahead of ourselves. So they all go on a mission, and they leave Haru back.
Well, because he's the only one that did not graduate.
Yep, he didn't get his
Well, someone
graduation.
needs to guard the dojo.
Right, and that turns out to
I
be
will guard the dojo.
Or like
I
he
will-
destroys the.
I will guard the village. I will water the plants. Like, Sensei's just like, okay, whatever.
Bye.
You do you, bud. So then, obviously, the woman shows up.
Sally Jones.
Sally
Who's not really
Jones.
Sally Jones.
Right. She's like, I need help. And he proceeds.
And I'm like, why are you wearing high heels and white? I'm immediately suspicious of her.
Right,
Like, you were not dressed
Right.
for Asia, ma'am.
right. This is
In any way, shape, or form.
right. Wrong place.
Oh my gosh.
So he proceeds to destroy the dojo, kind of like what Phil was saying.
He annihilates it.
Yeah, he lights the scroll of ancient sayings on fire.
She's like,
Destroys the shrine of
you're
the
burning.
urns.
He's like, oh, yes, I know. It's real intense, doesn't it? No, you're on fire. Oh, yeah, I believe it was. She's like, no.
Like for real.
And this is where we get a, oh!
And then he knocks down all the
Maybe-
Oh,
ashes.
this is where I'm just shaking my head. I'm counting down of like 10.
Grandmaster,
9,
whatever. Oh no,
8.
Grandmaster. But then,
Puts them both in the same jar.
It's
I
like,
think
oh,
worked
they
as
were a team.
And then he's just like putting it all over himself. Oh my god.
I was like, why did you do that? Did you think it would blend in with the black? It doesn't.
it does not.
he is, yeah, it's
And
Oh, and
somehow
this whole
Sally is
time,
not
this whole time he's talking to her, he's got a rip going straight down. His,
Oh yeah.
He ripped his whole uniform.
The thing for me in this scene is when he like goes into the mirror, but then he keeps going and he destroys the whole mirror. I'm like, he
see?
could have stopped.
You
Like-
see, it's a little Pink Panther.
absolutely. And if
Yeah.
you've never seen the Pink Panther has his sidekick,
Yeah.
who constantly is his foil, but also gets beat up by him as well. So there is a bit of that at play here, and it's so funny. So then he's like, oh, I must go find, and he goes to seek out and find some.
Without
a
asking
suspicious
for
boyfriend.
any
Right.
permission.
Yeah,
He's
this
not
is-
a ninja. Like
Right.
This is a
He
plot
just, oh, there's a
hole
pretty
right here.
woman, and I will help you, ma'am.
Right.
Anything for.
Yeah. Anything for you.
And then we cut to him sneaking across. Like,
Oh, he's got us floaty. That's great.
he's
So
like
I was like, this is actually kind of impressive.
he's like sneaking across this compound, and he gets caught on the fence.
Yeah.
And the fence opens, which magically makes him
Oh, that was
disappear.
funny. That was, and then he peers back and he's just like, and that was one of those parts where I was like, all right, that was funny. Good job.
what does he say when he's in the water and he's like, oh, I couldn't get through the front door, but I'm coming in the back or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
And he's figured out the most amazing thing in the world. Like he's the smartest one out there.
literally.
And then he overhears the scene. One of the guys gets shot and lands.
And the boat.
Poor guy. And they take pictures. So now they think a ninja's been killing people, like just random
I felt
people.
so bad for him. I'm like, that's just not fair.
And that happens multiple times.
I know. And he's like, I didn't do
It
it.
wasn't me. It was that.
Worst luck ever.
I like when he's running away.
Yeah.
He dives into the grossest trash can in all of Hollywood.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't
in
wanna know.
all of Hollywood. This thing is disgusting.
I'm like, I don't want to know
Like-
what those things are.
No.
well, it was like mealworms, earthworms,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were real. They were real.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. And he was breathing under the
Yeah.
And so like they cut back. He's back at the dojo, and Sensei's washing him off, and then we get another.
And he makes this.
Oh.
And he makes this line that kind of made me cringe, but it was also kind of funny, where he's just like, basically, you weren't using your head, you were thinking with something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So he's like, I need to go save Sally. She's
Right.
in trouble.
Right.
He's like, her name isn't Sally.
Yeah, they're like you're being led by your whatever. It's not. You're not being smart. You're not being wise. No, I must go. I must go. I must go.
I love her.
And
Or whatever. He doesn't
My
say that,
dove.
but
my dove.
that's
My
kind of
dove.
cute. That's kind of cute.
So they eventually just I think they eventually let him go, or they say yes, you may go.
Oh my gosh! Well,
Basically.
it was kind of good that they did, because he sort of breaks everything he touches.
Right.
He hits at people all the time by
Right,
accident.
right.
He needs to. He needs to get out.
Yeah.
He needs to explore
Well,
the
he's
world.
going to America, though. This is
Beverly
like
Hills at that.
Yeah.
the hills of Beverly.
The
The
hills
hills
of
of-
Beverly. I
The
love the
land
way
of
he talks.
opportunity.
It's so proper, and there's no, no contractions or anything.
No. Well, and we kind of skipped it, but we learned that her boyfriend is counterfeiting money. Basically, is his plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, a cold-blooded killer.
And killing people.
Gangster, basically.
Because he only gives him half of the plates, like the top half, not the
Right.
bottom half.
And they have to figure out how to get the second half.
He's like, this is useless.
So an interesting note, Chris Farley asked writer Mitch Klebanoff if they could integrate more father-son brother moments into the film, because Chris's family, especially his father, meant so much to him personally. When Klebanoff pitched this to director Dennis Dugan, he replied, Mitch, it's about a fat guy in a ninja suit. That's it. And dismissed the idea.
Oh.
So Chris Farley was like trying to hey,
Get a
like,
story.
get a story in there. Like, oh, this is, and they're like, it's,
Well, he does kind of.
yeah.
A little bit.
The way he talks about his brother Gobe,
Yeah.
it's so touching.
Yeah.
Because he adores him. He looks up to him. He wants to be like him. He wants Gobe to like accept him like as his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get to that point later. I love their relationship, even though it's mostly just Chris Farley accidentally beating the crap out of
Right.
him.
Yeah.
There's love there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. I didn't notice this. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it now. But apparently they didn't have time to do his ADR, which is where they recorded his dialogue over or whatever they needed to. They couldn't do it in the studio, so an ADR guy had to meet up with Farley and shoot him in the car while he was driving down Pico Boulevard on his way to his next gig.
What?
So they're recording.
Recorded the audio while they was in the car?
Apparently,
Oh, man.
That's insane.
Desperate times.
Yep, desperate
That is a
times.
determined...
sound guy for
Yeah,
sure.
man. Give him an award. Seriously.
Well, like-
That's grit. That's grit for you.
For real.
They did
We will
not
get this done.
They did not preview it for critics. TriStar didn't have enough confidence in Beverly Hills Ninja to preview it for critics.
Oh.
So, at the time,
This is crazy. What is it on Rotten Tomatoes?
well,
I think it's like 13%.
What?
Yeah,
So
Check
hold
it.
on.
Check it. I might be wrong.
yeah, we're
Okay, so
This-
Joker 2 is better than Beverly Hill Ninja because they have 39%. Like, come on.
All right, hold on. I'll check. Now, hold on. Stand by. I'll find out.
oh my goodness.
This is making this movie on paper sound like Pauly Shore's Pinocchio.
But I love it. It's nostalgic for me, though. Like, I don't know.
Well, and so when I went, so going into it, like I was like worried. I was like, is this going to be another situation where I'm going to be totally ruined because nostalgia is going to hurt? Yes, Vicky.
You finish first, and then I'll tell you what the
Okay.
ratings
Oh,
are.
no.
But I actually did. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and all the memories I have stood up over time,
Totally.
except for the adult situation, and then
I
the.
love his little dance.
We get a great line in that scene.
Yes.
That dance got a little inappropriate at one part, though. I was
Yeah.
like, that was too much.
Yeah.
This camera should not have shown that.
Yeah, it's not. If they could have left that out of the movie, it'd be a lot better score for me. But go ahead, Vicky.
All right, critic review is 13%.
What?
Audience review 53%.
Okay, it's a little better, I guess.
It's not as bad as Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I think it just goes
makes
because
me
all of us in this room have a different opinion about it, and I
Right.
think maybe that's healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I can understand people not liking it now in 2024
Right.
because there are some things that are not appropriate.
Right.
Well, it's not just that. Like there are parts that are like legit corny. Like
right.
And for me, it's just the type of humor that personally I really like. But I did love Naked Gun.
Yeah.
So
which I hated that movie, but I love this.
So I just told Aaron I was telling you I was like, well, what Naked Gun was for you,
Right.
is what this one is for
Yeah.
me.
That's fair.
And I think that I like to think that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we all have to agree.
Oh,
Right.
That this is not a dictatorship. We live.
I appreciate that,
we
Aaron.
live in a.
I appreciate this.
We live in a constitutional republic. You're allowed to watch and enjoy whatever movie you want to watch. Okay, so now he goes to America. He fights the metal detector.
Keeps getting
Yeah.
his shoes stolen.
And he doesn't figure it out till so
Which
far.
I was like, someone should have told him about the shoes, because I understood why he did it.
Right.
Because
yeah.
I used to live in Asia. Did you ever in Philippines? Did you
No,
guys do that?
That was not a shoe. Shoes were not a thing in the Philippines.
It was where I lived, where you would take
Yeah.
off your shoes before you go in.
Yeah.
Not usually to restaurants, but like other people's homes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
and then you have like indoor shoes, right?
Like little slippers.
yeah.
Okay.
Because usually they're like, no, your feet will get dirty. Wear these slippers. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
So he
He rents a car
he rents a car.
that he destroys immediately.
Yeah.
And
He
almost
gets-
kills his brother that's in the trunk.
Poor brother.
He gets in a fight with the seatbelt and the convertible top.
Oh yeah, he cuts it. I don't understand why he's doing
I don't know
this
why
to
did he
the
cut it? I know I didn't either. I'm like, are you just feeling claustrophobic? What is the deal?
Maybe.
I think that's the case. Yeah.
How did they let him drive? Because I know he doesn't have a license.
License.
That's a good question. It's a plot hole.
There's a couple of
There's a few.
Yeah, there's a few of these plot holes. This is also a movie that was obviously before September 11th.
Yes.
You could tell.
security. So obviously a lot of the like, if you had if you showed up at an airport in 2024 with all of
You
those
would not have
items
been able
in-
to get on the
They would have been
plane.
like, "I'm sorry, sir. Would you please come with us?"
Do not take my ninja stars.
And then like 24 hours later,
Right.
Oh, God.
interrogation's still going on.
Yes.
And you're not going.
What's with the nunchucks, sir?
Right, and we're taking you to a place where you'll never escape because we don't know who you don't have an identity. You're not on the grid.
Literally.
Who are you?
Oh,
I'm the Great White Ninja. It's not gonna.
He gets about knocked out on the plane too, because he's like talking to the kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like I am on a mission, a top secret one, of which I cannot tell you. If I did, I would have to kill you. And then the kid immediately goes, "Daddy!"
He's like trying to kill me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
And so
Somebody
Dad-
works with kids. That is such an
Dad
overreaction.
punches him in the nose.
Yeah.
And he comes off the airplane with stuff in his nose.
Yeah, he's got tissue just doing the walrus is what I call it.
Right. So then he gets his car. He drives like a maniac to the
But
hotel.
thankfully, takes the road rage in stride.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which I was glad for him when I saw that. I'm like, oh, good, take it in that spirit.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But then he calls the guy that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
But because he thinks it's a good thing.
Right.
Well, later on, the guy's just unbothered by it.
I
Yeah.
know. He's like, "You're welcome, sir."
So that it's a funny kind of running joke throughout the movie. He arrives at the hotel and he says, "I would like to rent one of your finer rooms."
And the guy is super condescending.
Right.
Like, don't you know where this is? Don't you know how this works? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like you. There's a 6-month like waiting
Yeah,
list,
yeah.
and he's like, "Well, I have gold. Will that work?"
We don't accept wampum.
I was just like, "What?"
Sir.
Like, bruh.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, would they take his gold like that? Like just straight up
Oh,
gold
yeah.
like
Yeah,
that?
they would.
That is
They
just
would.
crazy.
Oh yeah. If they can verify it, they
It's
will.
real gold. That dude will do some under the table stuff.
Yep.
He'll probably give him his personal room here.
Right.
I like the scene before this though with Chris Rock, and he's like,
My
"My
wrists."
wrists are hurting from
Yeah.
all the handbags."
I,
I would hate to issue a complaint.
so
I'm
it's-
gonna go soak my wrists.
I know.
That's so funny.
He is oddly hilarious in this movie.
Yeah, he's funny.
And he doesn't have like a big role really.
Right.
No.
No, not really, but
He
They're
just
cute.
pops up at the opportune moments and
well, he's like a ninja in training because by the end he's like, "I'm the first black ninja."
Oh no.
yeah, the great black ninja.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
And then,
way
like,
to
he-
steal the limelight.
I know this is like the very, very end, but I love to like when he delivers that line, he's looking directly at the camera.
Yeah. Fourth wall. Definitely breaking it.
He's like, yeah, wait for the sequel. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh, so you want to know something?
there probably was a planned sequel, huh?
There was an actual sequel.
There was
There
a
is
sequel?
a sequel?
Well, a spiritual. Hold on, let me find
Wasn't
it.
it like a prequel?
A spiritual successor.
No, I got to find it here a second. Hold on. It was I saw it and then I skipped past it. Hold on.
They used AI to recreate Chris
Oh,
Farley.
gosh.
And
No,
Oh no!
okay,
Don't give the internet any
so-
ideas.
Are you ready? A direct-to-DVD sequel to this film exists and is called Dancing Ninja 2010. In
Dancing?
2008, Sony announced the film with the working title Tokyo Jones, The Legend of the Dancing Ninja, later called Beverly Hills Ninja 2, and then Dancing Ninja. Written and partly directed by Mitch Klebanoff, the co-writer of Beverly Hills Ninja, and starring David Hasselhoff and Lucas Grabeel, the story involves an orphan boy who wants to be a ninja but becomes involved in a crime in Hollywood while looking for his real parents. The film was to have a May 2009 release, but was held up until 2003 due to issues in and after production, including Sony backing out of the film. So Dancing Ninja absolutely exists. It's a movie you can watch on Tubi and Plex.
well, it got a 30%. So
Dancing Ninja. That's an
Yeah.
improvement, actually.
And it's not rated, which means it's probably even worse.
It's David. It's probably just.
They just didn't even bother. They're just like,
Oh,
meh.
Steven Seagal is in this movie apparently, which tells you,
Goober.
yeah, he's a special kind of guy.
I don't want my intrusive thoughts to get the better of me. I
To be fair,
do not go home and watch this.
No, do not.
so Steven Seagal has he's in the last 15 to 20 years he's kind of lost his mind. He's gone from being bankable in a movie to being poisoned to a movie because he's lost his mind. All right, so there is a sequel. If we will never watch that because oh boy,
Maybe if we want to like do like a bad movie,
yeah. Where we just kind
because
of
I was
Oh,
just
let's
thinking
not
like
do the Pinocchio if they
Wait,
could
isn't
get.
this the guy from High School Musical?
probably
Lucas Grabeel?
yeah probably.
That looks, yes. No.
that means we definitely have to do it.
No! Let's not have a repeat of Pinocchio.
High School Musical?
Which one? The one on the top?
Yeah. The blonde guy.
I was
Definitely
just
looks
thinking
familiar.
earlier we've been spoiling
Look him up.
ourselves with our movie choices.
It's Sharpay's
It's about
brother.
time
or
we.
whatever.
No.
We get a rough one.
Yeah.
we throw ourselves in
I
the
just want to
ditch.
see what else he's in. Because now it's. I'm going to look it up on myself. Okay.
Oh
Lucas.
man.
I'll look him up.
Okay.
Anyway, so where are we at now?
We get up to his room,
Yep, to his
and his
room.
brother is now somehow in his closet.
Right.
And he throws all his
Somehow
weapons
he doesn't
in
get
there.
impaled. That's a miracle in and of itself.
I love how like sometimes like when he does stuff like that, if you listen closely, you'll hear Gobay go, "Oh!" like cry out in pain.
Right, like he actually got
It
stabbed.
is High School Musical film series. No, that's not okay. We're not watching it.
No, I second the objection. All in favor of us not doing this, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed.
No, we're not going to take a vote.
This is a constitutional republic. This is not a dictatorship. You do not get to
Yet.
invalidate the vote.
Yet.
It's not how that works. This is my show. There's a little thing behind the monitor.
Pinocchio made him fail his quiz.
Geppetto.
We do not want a repeat of the. We want him to pass.
Maybe me and Phil will watch it, and then we'll do our own little special episode.
Just make sure Phil doesn't have a quiz he has to do.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, let's not. Okay. So he's in the
Speaking of, we need to check that.
We do actually need to. I'll do it right now.
Sorry, getting into personal, real life stuff coming in, guys.
It's fine. It's fine.
We has to do our classes and jobs.
Yep. So he's in the hotel room.
I feel like he's breaking the first rule because you shouldn't be telling everybody that you're a ninja.
No, he's supposed to be keeping it a secret. I'm
Secret.
like, well,
And
that
he's
just
not.
went out the window, didn't
He's
it?
not. And so he gets Chris Rock in on his plan.
And gives him like 34 rules or something about how
Right.
to be a ninja. And
Yeah.
talks about how to like practice like impaling somebody. Practice on chickens.
Right?
Well, no, it.
ripping off their heads.
Yeah, taking off their heads.
Yeah.
Which I have found
With your
out
hands.
apparently through a YouTube channel I watch. Someone who owns a farm says it's apparently really easy to pull a chicken's head off.
Oh.
That's crazy though.
Okay.
I
So if you needed some dark information, there you go. Don't go.
don't do it.
Fascinating.
So he goes and he needs to like change out of his robe basically. So he becomes the Beverly Hills pimp.
Yeah.
And he says that. I'm like, how do you know what that
He's
is?
like, thank you. I'll fit right in. I'm like,
Well, I think because he just, again, he's like, they say, oh, you look like a whatever. And then he goes, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm a.
he's like,
And
thank
so he
you.
just adopts the word
that.
like the other time and he just rolls it. And I'm just like, oh, boy.
Dude, no.
So then he goes in search of the girl.
And this is the first time in America that our boy Gobay helps him out
Yeah.
because he's like standing there as a statue.
Which I think is so cool.
That was brilliant.
Yes.
But he can't find this girl because all he knows is she's a beautiful blonde.
Yeah. How many
It's
beautiful
Beverly Hills.
How many beautiful blondes could there be in Beverly Hills? And I'm just going, oh.
Every other one
buddy.
is the answer.
So he literally
she's
goes
on the newspaper.
Yeah, but he misses that because he gets some. Like,
He's oblivious to everything.
He gets some dog poop on his shoes or whatever, and then he wipes newspaper in it. And
If
then
a
he
snake
literally,
it would have been.
and
Bit
then-
him, honestly.
and he literally goes to every blonde-haired woman on the street
or man.
or man, right? Fabio makes an appearance.
Is that
You
who
look-
that was?
Fabio.
They're twins.
It's Fabio.
I just got. Okay.
Oh my god!
I just put that together.
I did not.
Yep.
Wow.
Good line there when he's like talking to him. He's like, "You don't look like her at all, or him, or you don't know either of them. They're twins, or something like that."
Okay, bye.
He just bye. And then Gobei, being the awesome ninja he is,
Right.
with a little pow, pops the tire of
Right.
Sally Jones. And
So she pulls up right in front of him.
Right.
Yeah.
Stanley Jones.
They literally bump into each other, so he can't miss her.
Right.
Literally.
yeah, that's the skills of Gobei for you.
Right. Always
The
there
real
to-
ninja.
Always there to help. What happens next? So then are they there? He's like, I will help you. She's like, no, you can't. You can't be here.
Well, he tells her like what he found out from Japan.
Right. That he killed a man and he's a bad dude. Bada bada bam. Bada bing bada boom. And this what I don't know. I don't
She's
know.
just like, stay away from me.
right.
Well, because I think she doesn't want her boyfriend to know like she's
Right.
doing this.
Right. That she's trying to get him, catch him, and whatever.
He's in pretty close proximity, I think, at this moment. She's
Yeah.
just trying to be like, go.
Yeah, because he's like across the street.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh.
I've just been shopping, honey.
Yeah. All right. What happens next?
That was a
I
good
think,
question. This movie's a roller
right, I'm
coaster.
looking here. Let's see. Haru tracks Tanley and Nabu to a nightclub in Little Tokyo.
Okay, so yeah, that's the club scene.
That's the adult.
And where we get the greatest line. I am not one with the universe.
He was trying to be one with the universe
Yeah.
for the whole movie.
And he got distracted.
Especially
by,
when he's trying so hard not to be distracted.
Right.
But
Which we need to bring up, like how he can they can meditate and meet on an astral plane.
have an out of body
and
experience.
he continually
Astral projection.
Yeah.
he repeatedly like.
Yeah, he can't control it. And every
It's
time
so
his
bad.
soul comes back into his body,
He
it
goes
physically blows him. Like,
Through something.
yeah, it's always through like a window, a door.
Crashes a couch over,
Right.
breaks things.
It's fantastic.
Also at the time.
So he loses his mind.
And joins.
This is where
yeah.
like he gets thrown out, and then 2 more murders happen. And they fall down in front of him.
And then this lady's screaming, thinking that he did it. And I'm like,
He's
they
like,
literally
"I didn't do
came out of
it."
the sky. How did he kill them?
He's like, no,
He's the Great White Ninja.
He takes off running. Where does he go after this?
Well, this is when he goes and he meditates because he's just
Right.
like, I can't. Another one.
Right.
This keeps happening to me.
Right.
This wasn't me. I promise.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically he's saying you can't give up the quest. You got to keep going.
Yeah.
Then he ends up at Tanley's mansion.
Yeah, he's with the dog.
Good old brother saves the day
he
with
goes,
the
he
Doberman.
goes to shoot a blow dart at the dog, but the dog barks, scares him, so he misses and ends up taking a bird out of the sky.
And then the dog is the bird.
So the dog gets distracted by the bird, but
and it would have been fine if he just walked away. But
yeah,
no.
but he's gotta let the dog know that he is the great white ninja. Like,
Pride goes before the fall.
yeah. So then the dog starts chasing him. Gobei has to save him once again.
Right. And then he's like trying to get on the mansion with his little grappling hook.
Yeah, it was just stuck
He-
to Gobei's foot.
No. First it's the satellite dish.
Oh, that's
And
right.
he yanks that. And that boom knocks him to the
Yeah.
ground.
It's not okay.
That's a concussion right there. And then he does it again and grabs Gobei's foot.
And, oh god, that looked painful
The
too.
fact that
Yeah.
he is really trying to like hold on to him with his
Yeah.
That big boy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my foot would have came off.
Yeah. So then, so then he crashes in to her yacht. Her
It was like a
Her
porch,
patio.
like a
Crashes
patio,
in
a
the-
patio
yeah.
on the second
But
floor.
then
And Gobei goes flying.
flying on the ground.
And this
and then
is,
he's like, I'm here.
this is also like where you hear Gobei once again go,
Whoa!
Oh my god.
Poor guy.
God,
Can't catch a break.
Literally.
And so then he's telling
Allison
her.
and Allison / Sally happens to be in the mansion at the same time.
Yep.
looking for things, and they have this basic conversation where he's like, I know who you actually are.
Right.
And she reveals an important bit of information.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister used to date her current boyfriend, but he killed her.
Oh.
And so this
Yeah.
is revenge.
So she's trying to like get evidence against him.
Okay. Got it. Gotcha.
So they come up with a plan
Yep.
to get the plates or whatever.
And then he comes home, and she's like, "Hide," and he's just like, "Where do I go?"
Yeah, and he goes out and he pulls the dog up again, and then drops it.
Yeah.
That moment, I know I shouldn't laugh at that.
It was funny.
But he was just like, "Ah!" And you hear you
drops
go,
the
and you're,
dog. And
and then he goes,
he's
and he
so
goes,
upset.
and he's just he's like, "Ooh," and then he runs.
And he bites his finger.
Yeah,
Like,
Like he's such a baby
Yeah.
most
Yes.
of the time. Like especially like whenever he talks to Sally or Allison, we can
Yeah.
call her Allison now.
Yeah.
He's
you
was-
lied to me, Allison Page.
Yeah, like and then
Hold on.
oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
All right, so we just had a mild panic attack.
Concussion, no.
Terrifying moment of looking at the screen and seeing absolutely nothing after 35 minutes of recording, in which we use Adobe Audition, and so as we're recording, it's showing us our wave file or our wave frequencies as we're talking, and so at a certain point in this podcast, it just went to 0, and I just was like, "What has happened?" So we went back and we double checked it, and we were able to get it to restore itself so that we actually could see the peaks and the valleys. So thank goodness I was looking, because I was like, what? But I wasn't looking long enough. So I'm now going to kind of just go back and forth now like a panicked little squirrel.
No,
Don't talk about no squirrels here. Chipmunks, not squirrels.
No.
Well, I can't see the screen anymore to double check, so it's up to Zoe.
You're right. We're
keep an eye.
gonna
Second
redouble our efforts. Okay, so he says you lied to me. He tries to find a hiding place.
Yeah, I was
He's
saying
not
like
hiding on like the roof of the bed.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like 4-poster
Yeah.
canopy things.
Yeah.
A bed that I've always wanted.
Yeah.
My whole life.
So he's hiding up there,
So pretty.
and he collapses down, and she's like, okay, well,
she's like, good job.
good job. Like, one of the few times he pulled it off.
But I'm like, how did he get up there for real though?
Plot hole.
He is a ninja.
He's a very athletic guy.
The power.
I mean, really is.
I mean, yeah.
The power of plot. That's what happened.
Power of
The
plot.
power of plot. So where do we go now?
All right, let me check the plot.
Oh, is this the hibachi?
I think
Oh no.
I love this scene.
Oh jeez. So
Yep,
a
this is
scene
when the
that I-
Japanese restaurant. That's the next
this
part.
this is a scene that I like really underappreciated until I've had hibachi.
I
and-
admit this is one of the ones I really liked when he is imitating the chef. I was like, yes, this
because
is hilarious.
as a kid, I didn't realize that those are real places. But since I've been with Zoe, we eat hibachi like
I love hibachi.
several times a year. Like, and it is a show almost like that.
I would like to experience that. I've never been. I've heard there. It's
it's been a
incredible.
long time for me.
So we got my man Gobe in here, dressed as a lady.
Yeah.
A beautiful lady.
A beautiful lady.
Pulls it off very well.
He
Yeah.
really does.
There was one time where like he rips off part of his hair. He's like, "Do you know how long it took me to do my hair?" Like, and then like he
That's real.
he adjusts his bra.
Oh no! I'm like, oh
He's like,
dude.
yeah, and keeps on kicking butt, man.
Yeah.
Like,
So like yeah, this whole scene is, and it's so this is the thing. I understand Chris Farley why he hated this movie. I get it, because he was probably wanting to be something bigger than his normal shtick, and
Yeah.
he felt like all of his shtick was being over exaggerated in this movie, and I get it, but I mean, as we've talked, we spent the last couple 20, 40, whatever minutes. It's still funny. Like, this hibachi scene is Chris Farley at some of his best.
well, because the thugs walk in and he's dancing with knives,
Right.
and accidentally lets one go and
And
stabs
keeps
the
getting
thug.
himself some serious
Like-
burns.
Right. Yeah.
When he's bowing, because you have to bow differently for different people, and he goes all the way down and he burns his forehead.
face. Yeah.
And then
And
he
he
just
puts
puts
the
the
meat
raw
on it.
meat.
Oh, his head.
And then he
Like,
puts it on the
I
grill.
was like, no, don't cook it. Don't cook it.
You can't eat at everybody's
At one point, he's
house.
so yeah.
You can't eat at everybody's house.
At one point, he's so distracted, but trying to, eavesdrop on Tanley.
Right.
He starts cooking this lady's scarf.
Oh, yes. Oh, God.
All that.
That's bad.
I don't think he ever discovers that he did it either. I was waiting for that moment and it never happens. Never comes up.
Oh, it's zany, wild, and wacky. And
But him with the stash in both of those moments when he has one,
Right.
He looks awesome.
yeah, classic Chris Farley. So then, someone comes in with a gun, submachine gun to murder somebody, to shoot somebody.
They're after Tanley.
Yeah, and so then Chris sends a sword or a knife into the guy, and then
Accidentally saves the day.
right, accidentally saves the day.
Well, Go Bay saved the day.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
It's all the brothers.
it's an awesome fight scene with Liu Kang here.
Yeah,
I love it when he's like, "Oh, don't hit me, I'm a girl," and then he goes,
I love that.
absolutely.
You know,
fantastic.
he does not have very many lines in this movie, but
Yeah.
the lines he has
Yeah.
are amazing.
Yeah.
pretty funny, pretty good stuff. Well, I was reading originally he didn't want to do the movie, but I think Chris Farley or they convinced him like, hey, it's gonna be a comedy, it's something different. You should try it.
I think they were talking. If this is who I'm thinking of, he was like, I don't know how to do comedy. He's like, just be yourself. Just
Yeah.
be honest.
No, because 2 years earlier he was in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's who. So he'd been in very serious.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, this is a very different film.
yeah, very different
and
film for him.
you see him like more with his shirt off in Mortal Kombat, and he is shredded.
he's got a crush.
Yeah, Phil's
Mortal Kombat was one of my favorite things growing up. Okay, and
Yes, he's beautiful in Mortal Kombat too. I agree.
he
I like Mortal Kombat.
he is a BA. He's that.
yeah, he's good. Okay, so moving on from the man crush that Phil
I
experiences.
have a couple, but
Okay.
and I'm fine to admit them. You
Okay.
know,
I think we know about at least one more.
I wasn't
yeah, I was
Ledger
gonna say Heath
and
Ledger.
Robin Shaw.
Okay, I wasn't going to question any of that. That wasn't the next segment here. So after the barbecue place,
He decides that Allison needs to be watched over. It's not safe
Yeah.
for her apartment,
right?
so she needs to go.
To his hotel where they can. That's in my head. I'm thinking they could follow you, like,
Right.
well, whatever. That's fine.
So he goes to the hotel.
Oh, is this when they start meeting the dude?
What dude?
The funny, like, crazy. Who shot the couch guy?
No,
Not yet, not yet,
Okay.
because they're at the hotel
The Ink
and
Master.
Yeah, they're not. So the hotel. I don't remember what happens here.
Oh, because he's kind of implying, like, oh, we'll just share the bed. And she's kind of like, yeah, you can have the couch kind of thing.
Yeah, and this is that weird.
Oh, in the silhouette moment.
Yeah,
and then somehow he ends up on top of her and it gets real inappropriate. I'm pretty sure it's here.
That was at the tax.
at
Ink.
the
Oh,
place,
okay,
yeah.
it's
So
not
this
here.
this is just a weird moment here where obviously they're playing at something, but we don't know what they're trying to play at.
Well, I'm sorry, because it's just so funny because he walks all the way up there so that she can see his silhouette. I just can't.
Yeah, it's
funny.
it's an oddball moment for sure.
There's a whole lot of man there.
Yeah,
There is.
Chris Farley was a big dude. So then they're going to the print shop, I think, or the whatever the guy.
Yep.
with the
Yeah.
The Ink
mustache.
Master guy.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's so annoying.
Yeah, and he goes,
Oh
"I will
my
use my
gosh.
super ninja, knockout skill," and it doesn't work
No.
and then so she punches him, and he's like, "Well, that's not what a ninja would do, but it worked."
It worked.
And then he has the little
Laughing
leaves
mushrooms.
and then the guy sneezes and it blows, and they all
Well,
start
first he says you only need like a little, and he has this whole handful.
laughing. Right?
So why were you giving him all that anyway?
Too much.
I don't know. It's again a scene that I could have done without because it's overplayed. It's just. And maybe in that time, in the 1997s, it was more
I
hilarious.
thought that was a funny thing.
I-
They're all
That guy
laughing.
always like grossed me out for some reason. Like the
Yeah.
way he's laughing and got his tongue all out. Oh, like ugh. Like,
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I think that's kind of like his
shtick. Okay.
his thing.
Well, whatever
Well,
it was.
Chris Farley could imitate it perfectly.
Yes. So
Yeah.
he ends up changing into the uniform of the guy because he knows the bad guys are coming, and so the joke of "Who shot the couch?" gets repeated,
Yep.
and
But it doesn't make sense.
doesn't make
enough.
sense at all. And he carries on this attitude of like, "Oh yeah, all right, oh yeah, wait, we're going."
Everything's a joke.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, but Chris Farley does it more hilarious than I think our
Oh,
original
yeah,
actor
yeah.
does. So they put him in a van.
Yeah, because they're bad jokes on purpose.
They
Right.
blindfold him.
Right.
Oh, who's going to be able to see to drive?
So he takes the equipment. They drive to the place.
They hit a speed bump and Farley nails his head. You know that was not.
Probably.
He hit his head for real.
Yeah.
Like
We've all been there.
bang.
Yeah. So then they get to the facility, and he has no idea what he's doing. Oh, the mustache comes off at some point.
Yep.
He's drinking water from the water fountain. That's when it comes off.
And Gobey saves him once again.
Right.
Wow. And he's like, oh, I think a bug bit me. And then he starts making jokes about, hey, my brother's an exterminator. He can come over here and get rid of these cockroaches in no time.
Sorry.
And the guys escorting him are just like, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't he at some point be like, can you be serious for like 5 minutes?
yeah.
No.
No,
Apparently,
I can't.
apparently not.
Not if you want me to stay in character.
Yeah. So he gets to the printing press. He's like, oh, wow, this is a 6,500 2 RPM.
Oh my God.
He just making stuff
You
up.
gotta change your flux capacitor.
There's too much magenta in this print.
Yeah, too much. I gotta
We
fix
got
it.
something with a pap smear. Like,
Right, yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
what?
gosh.
Dude, what are you doing?
he's just doing word salad.
Right.
But to me, as a kid, hearing that, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it makes sense.
He knows
Wow.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. No, he doesn't.
He does not.
So at some point, like, they go out and he's trying to make it work and it's not working.
Nope.
And so the jig is up pretty quickly. So he's like, I am Haru, I am a ninja. I am
Well,
here
he
to...
tries to steal the plates,
Oh, yeah.
and they fall out of his jacket.
I'm sorry. They just keep pulling it out.
Spectacularly. Like, oh, you're the fat ninja we've heard so much about. Excuse me.
Great
Rude.
white.
Ninja. Yes. So then...
How does he get out of there? I don't remember.
I'm looking. Hold on.
'Cause then
Allison. So when Tanley's in the process of getting the other half of the plates. So while Tanley's in the process of getting the other half of the plates that night, Allison
Yeah.
rescues Haru from the back of Tanley's van.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
because they're at the Hollywood, the site or whatever, the building, and he's in the back trunk, and she gets him out. And
She breaks the glass, I think.
Yeah, breaks the glass, gets him out, and then
They go back to the hotel.
no.
I'm sorry, but this is like, he says something really funny because he's just like, you just got to think about it and the ropes will come off or something.
Yeah, he's
And she's like, here, this will be faster, basically.
He's got a knife. Like, okay, that works too.
it's fantastic. So then he the bad guys turn the bad guys, and then
So now he's going to have all the plates to make the
right.
counterfeit money.
But then Haru tries to get involved or whatever, and
He gets freaking Chris Rock to try to like recreate the blindfolded
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
driving.
that's what I was saying. Like, they go back to the hotel. And
Yeah.
he gets Chris Rock, and he's like, he puts Chris Rock in the driver's seat, and then he starts climbing into the back seat, and Chris Rock's like, what are you doing? Like, what's happening here? And he's like, just go off my directions. And oh my gosh, they go through a car wash.
That is
Right.
the best.
That was hilarious. Comparing it to the ocean.
yeah,
I was just thinking too, like,
The sea
imagine
creatures.
Yeah.
imagine being blindfolded and going through that. Like, you really would be freaked out.
Yes.
Like,
no idea what's going
it's
on.
on my face. Get it off.
Sea foam.
So then they go back. I'm like, we'll try it again, and that's when his brother gets involved.
And he does the ninja move perfectly there.
Yeah.
And knocks out Chris Rocks and just takes over driving. Yeah, listen, he didn't need my directions. We're here.
You are a fragile boy, Joey.
He just passed out.
Right,
Oh,
Poor
and
guy.
I love this scene with the palm tree.
right.
Oh,
my
and
God.
Tarzan Boy is playing. Oh, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa.
It's a funny scene. So what? So he gets
Chris
in.
Rock down there. Yeah, yeah. Go ninja. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then he goes, I don't know if you noticed this, but he goes up.
Yeah, he falls upwards. Like when he leaves the palm tree, he
Yeah.
goes up.
Oh my
And
goodness.
this is where I was shaking my head again.
Yeah.
Just going, physics don't make any sense.
No. Physics don't make sense.
Nonsense. No sense. Nonsense at all. Okay, what happens next?
Well, poor Allison has been put in a room.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Honestly, it's like a bad cartoon where instead of the villain like destroying the person right away, it's like, no, I'm just gonna put you in a room with a bomb.
Oh,
for
so
Yeah, I
just
was
a
like
minute.
this super
So
villain guy here.
Yeah, really.
Before this, though, Haru's brother gets arrested because he puts himself in place
Yeah.
of Haru. And
He's like, I had to break out of jail.
It's like there's nothing this guy can't do.
yeah,
Literally.
he's got because he comes into the meditation scene in a jail jumpsuit.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, Haru's coming. You go hide in that cloud.
and Haru's like really sweet, and
Yeah.
so Gobei kind of forgives him. He's like, all right,
Well,
fine.
he looks surprised. I don't think he realized how much
Yeah.
his brother loved him.
Yeah.
Looked up to him.
Yeah. So then, yeah, we're back. So she's there's a bomb next to her. It's set to go off. And
Reminds me of like Snidely Ripley or something.
Right.
First, he tears up a phone that doesn't even have anything to do with the bomb.
If he
Oh
lets
yeah,
me fall.
Haru when he's trying to disarm it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he drives a forklift through it to conveniently give him 2 armholes.
And then he pulls out something, and she's like, well, now we're down to 5 minutes.
Right.
And then he hears Gobei getting beat up, and he's like, okay, I'll be right back. So he goes back. He's like, you could do all this stuff, but there's one thing, you will not mess with my brother.
Right.
And then he's
He's a real ninja in that moment.
Yeah. Does his thing. They fight back.
And this we skipped over, but this is where the first time like he realized that his brother is there working with
Yeah.
him.
And working to
Yeah.
help him.
And not whacking him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, at first he was.
I know.
Right.
He's like, do you think you could do this by yourself? He's like, I will try. I'll probably be better off if you leave anyways.
So then
Because he doesn't use his weapons. And the
No.
only time he does use his weapons, he's whacking Gobei.
right.
It's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. I think I walked away during this moment, so how do they get her out?
So yeah, this
So it takes a while.
so
Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
He shoots a torpedo through the... he shoots
a gigantic grappling hook,
through the wall.
harpoon almost.
Yes, a giant harpoon.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
It goes
Yeah, I
through
know.
the wall.
Right.
Conveniently, the bomb falls onto it.
No. So it goes through the wall, and goes out and attaches to the truck.
Yes, that
Then the
Tanley
This
is...
truck that boyfriend is trying to make his getaway
So
in.
then
Yeah.
he drives, and then the base from the harpoon is pulled along, conveniently picks up the bomb, like just
it in
like
the
a
truck.
glove,
Yeah.
as it's smashing through the wall.
Oh my God.
And it like
lands in the back of Tanley's truck.
Yeah.
Nice.
and goes off and
Well,
you know.
so here's the
No more
what's
boyfriend.
fascinating about this is that, and it makes me wonder how much if they couldn't blow the truck up,
Right.
Because it's only the back of the truck that blows up, and then the fire rains down and lights the floor on
Yeah.
fire,
Tanley's still alive.
but the truck doesn't blow up. And that makes me wonder of like how much could they actually have destroyed or were allowed to destroy of that vehicle.
That's fair.
Because it doesn't just go. But then again, it is a kids movie, so you want the bad guy to come be alive and be able to be arrested.
It was a kid's movie for the 90s. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say for today.
Yeah. Oh no.
We skipped over Chris or Joey climbing up the tree
And
himself.
doing the
just to crash through the window, land on a bad guy, and get knocked out all over again.
poor guy. He tries so
But
hard.
then, like, when he wakes up, he's, like, getting interviewed by these guys.
Right,
And he's
yeah.
like, I'm the great black ninja.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bonkers.
yeah.
So-
So we're back in Japan.
Back in Japan,
Gobei is in a wheelchair.
Oh, poor guy. Poor guy.
and so then they're like, "We'll see you, Haru." It's,
Yeah, because now he's going to be with Allison in Beverly Hills.
yeah.
Yep, he
And
went
then
to...
brother's chair gets hooked on.
to the bus as they're leaving,
Oh,
and he ends up falling off a cliff somehow
Into the ocean.
Yeah.
instead of to all the rocks that are beneath. I just so
So
far-fetched.
Phil, you might know this. I might know this connection. There was a movie called Mac and Me.
Oh, like the E.T. ripoff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was a scene
Oh,
where the
yeah.
character, where the male character is in his wheelchair, and he rolls down a hill, and then into the water.
We watched this on Mystery Science Theater, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
So that's, I don't know if it was a send up of that scene, but it was just like, oh my gosh,
I could see it.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
And somehow he like goes higher.
Yeah.
everything
Well, and then
about it.
Haru's just like, sorry.
Yeah,
Like-
sorry, brother. And then he just
I
leaves
want
him
my
there.
medallion back.
Oh, yeah, because he gives him his special golden
Yeah,
medallion. Oh.
yeah. And then that's the end of the movie.
those cliffs.
Everybody likes kung fu fighting.
Those cliffs remind me a lot of the cliffs from Clash of the Titans,
Oh yeah.
where they're
Okay.
throwing the baby off.
Yeah.
Well, that's not okay.
No.
Spartans just go crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
you got to watch Clash of the Titans.
I've seen
the,
it.
the
I didn't pay
original one.
attention. Apparently,
It's okay. I don't know if it was worth paying attention to.
that's fair.
The original?
No, the redo.
Oh, I'm talking about the original.
Oh, the original.
The original is amazing.
Okay.
Well, this was like
It took them forever to make.
This was
Yeah.
like 2012, so this probably was the remake.
No, this was the remake they made.
Boo.
Their attempt to there's been a lot. I think that time period was a lot of like, ooh, we've got all the technology now. Let's reimagine, remake these movies. It's like, no, the movies had heart before, but
yeah, it
now
wasn't memorable.
No.
Well, it's like if your brain relies heavily on like good visuals,
Yeah.
and stuff, you would probably lean more towards the more recent one.
Oh, well, kind of speaking about that,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but there's going to be a Gladiator 2. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so here's
It looks awesome.
I have feelings.
I do
So
too.
the original trailer, it was a hip hop music backing, and people were furious because the original Gladiator was classical music, had a compelling soundtrack, and people were mad. They're like, you did the hip, like that's what you did. And what's funny is some YouTubers went back and got the actual music from Gladiator and mashed it to the trailer.
Yeah.
The difference is incredible. Like it actually feels like an actual Gladiator sequel trailer versus the one with the hip hop music was like, this is what are you doing? Like, what is this even making? I don't understand. So
They like to do that with media nowadays, especially action oriented.
people don't like it. People were mad. Like it got downvoted because people were so upset about it. And it was like, this is not what you do with Gladiator. Like you could do it with any other movie, but Gladiator is sacred. Like it's a sacrosanct movie. Like that is people remember that movie. I'm interested to see what they do because apparently the lead character is Maximus's son. They make that clear in the movie trailer. And there's a lot of Pedro Pascal is in it. There's a bunch of other folks in there.
I like how they're going to do more stuff with the Colosseum that like they actually did back in the day.
Yeah.
Like the boat wars in the
Right.
It's amazing how Romans were able to just come up with
They were
that.
smart,
Like
man.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff. I don't know how I feel about it yet. It really is going to largely.
I just couldn't believe they've waited so long to make a sequel for that movie.
You know what I
That's
think?
fair.
The thing about Gladiator is it was an incredible movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's the power of that movie. You really have to know what you're doing to make a sequel. It is interesting. I don't.
Like, why now, I guess, is
Yeah,
kind of
I don't know. I don't want to be like, yeah, but I don't have a good feeling. We'll see it. We'll see it. We'll see it when it comes out. I'm interested. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it because it's like Hollywood can't make an original idea. They're coming out with all these remakes and reboots, and
That's true.
they're rebooting The Office in Australia. If you hadn't seen that already,
Really?
yeah, it's
Interesting.
it's been the trailer premiered on Amazon Prime, not on the U.S. Prime YouTube channel, but on every other Amazon Prime YouTube channel across the world, and it's it's depressing.
Interesting.
It's really like this isn't gonna be okay. All right, okay. Well, you really are trying. You're tryhards. So yeah. Anything else we want to talk about before we close the show?
Well, I learned something.
Okay.
That's probably common knowledge to most people.
Okay. This is the part of the program where Phil learns something?
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
So
Your face.
It's like Sesame Street or something.
today is this is today's Phil's learned something.
Facts with Phil.
Facts with
That sounds better. Less patronizing.
It's facts with Phil.
yeah, I like facts with Phil.
Yes. Thank
So
you. You're welcome.
when Zoe and I were out of town
Yeah.
at the friend's wedding,
Yeah.
we ended up watching Wedding Singer.
Okay.
Which she's
Love that
never
movie.
seen, and it's like
Yeah,
my
I've-
favorite movie.
I've never
so
watched
good.
the whole thing.
Okay.
But I'm watching it. And I'm like, it's all the Happy Madison guys
Yep.
here.
Yep.
But there's no Happy Madison title card.
Oh.
I was like, huh. So is this Happy What? I looked it up.
Yeah.
Apparently, Waterboy isn't Happy Madison either.
Really?
It was the result of Wedding Singer and Waterboy that they were able to make Happy Madison.
Really?
Isn't that so cool?
Interesting.
That blew my
Like-
mind. So
Because I love The Wedding Singer. That's like
Yes.
been my movie
It's one of his. It's
forever.
one of his.
it's
best.
got all the people in
And
it.
Drew Barrymore and like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh, those two are like just a match made in
amazing.
him.
They
Heaven.
need
Yeah.
to be married. I'm sorry. In my world, they're married.
But Adam Sandler is already.
I know, but why?
In Zoe's world, Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore are married.
They should be. They're besties, but I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Well, they're old now. They're like our age or
yeah.
more older than us.
Old.
Well,
I guess we're
I don't.
old
I'm not
now.
ready to call myself old.
older.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do
we at
you
least
know
do-
what I learned today?
Oh no. And now it's time for Zoe learns. Learning with Zoe. I got no Z alliterations.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm older than Pete Davidson, and that makes me feel weird.
We
Someone
feel
was
you.
asking me like, well, how old is he? And so I was like, well, let me look it up. He's 30. I'm going to be 32 this year. How am I older than him?
Well, you're probably smarter than him in a lot of different ways,
Well,
and
thank
a
you,
little bit
Eric.
more mature than Pete Davidson. Because
Honestly, it's a weird thing
that-
to have that begin.
well, no, because here's
Because
the
this is the start.
hold up, pump the brakes. Pete Davidson is not an upstanding individual from which to be like,
I'm not-
oh
I'm
man,
not saying he
I'm
was. I'm
older
just
than
saying this
Pete
is the age
Davidson.
where,
What
like,
am I doing with my life?
not what I'm
be
saying.
happy that you've done with your life what you've done with it, and not what Pete Davidson has done with his life. Dude's doing all right now, but oh my goodness, he has not been the model of anything in his lifetime.
That's a fair point.
Oh.
That's not what I was getting at, but it's a fair point.
I just
All
want to
you-
make
I
sure I'm
just-
not like encouraging you. You've made some really good life decisions. Pete
you.
Davidson has not.
Okay.
He's doing better, but he has not. Didn't he go out with like Miley Cyrus at one point?
No.
Oh, that wasn't Pete Davidson.
He was with Ariana Grande.
Oh,
They
that-
were
Let's not mix them up.
engaged.
Oh, okay.
Different singer.
Okay.
Very different singer.
Yeah, they're all in there somewhere.
Oh, he did. Wait, was that him? Yeah, I think he dated Kim Kardashian, right?
Oh, that's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
For a
unfortunate.
little bit.
I remember because Kanye was get that. Kanye did not like that very much.
Oh no, didn't he do a whole song?
No, he tweeted a lot.
Yeah, that man can be just go far away from us.
But I legitimately thought he was like older than me.
No, 32. Apparently, 30. You said 30. You said?
He's 30.
30.
So what
you're-
I was trying to get at
Uh-huh.
is that there comes a time in everyone's life where you realize that the popular ones in Hollywood are you're starting to become older than them, and it's not a fun thing to have happen, but
Yeah, Eminem is 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a grandpa.
Yeah.
oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His kid, his
Isn't
daughter's
that
ha-
weird to think about?
His daughter's gonna have a kid.
Yes,
And
it's
she got
really
married.
weird.
Yeah.
She got married and not long ago, and his new album, he's got a song on there.
Can you
called-
imagine me like my grandpa's and men used to be like, that's terrifying. Be like, I better get everything together.
Right.
This man is gonna come for me.
But yeah, he's on his new album. He's got a song called "Temporary."
Yeah.
and it's basically to his kids,
Yeah.
dedicated to his kids. And in the video, that's Haley announced to him that he's going to be a grandfather in the music video.
Yeah.
So it was like really sweet.
Well, and
Aw.
I don't know if you've watched any of his latest music, but he has Eminem's. Sorry, well, whatever his name is now these days.
Yeah.
His journey through abuse, drug abuse, substance abuse, and sober life now. He has the fact that he's still alive
Is a miracle.
is a miracle,
Yeah.
and he's done a video or two about addiction and coming out of it. And his feelings towards his kids, it's brutal, it's rough, but it is a heartfelt message of I don't want to have to go through this ever again. Like, this was awful. I was terrible to you. I missed your time. Missed time with you.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah,
So his new album, "The Death of Slim Shady."
yeah,
Like about halfway through it, he metaphorically, figuratively, whatever,
Kills
Slim
Shady,
Shady.
yeah.
And then the rest of the album is totally different.
Yep.
That's where you get the song "Somebody Save Me"
Yes.
and "Temporary." Those
because
songs
Somebody
are
Save
like,
Me is with Jelly Roll, right?
Yeah.
And that is legit.
Somebody save
Oh,
my
it is
Oh
good.
my
It is.
God.
It is impressive.
But I can't listen to it too much.
Yeah, it's rough. It's intense. Jelly Roll, if you don't know who he is, he's another guy who has a fascinating life story. He recently went to a correctional facility and performed for a large amount of inmates.
like Johnny Cash.
Yeah, like he
Yeah,
went
very.
and he did a whole thing. It was legit watching that video because he does. Jelly Roll has a deep and abiding care for people who have been through some stuff, and he's been through his own version, his own stuff as well. And it's really cool just to see like him and Eminem like partnering and getting together and doing all that stuff. It's just, there's hope in the music industry, and there's a hope for sobriety.
Makes me happy.
And you'll never hear you'll hear me preach that every single day, of every single lifetime, of every single year. Even on this podcast, sobriety is a way of life.
Eminem is like 15 or 16 years sober now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's
he
great.
posts every year his new little
If
coin.
you really want to do a deep dive into what sobriety can do for somebody, the crew that the Johnny Knoxville crew, the Steve-O crew,
Oh yeah.
for that
for
whole
sure.
crew, the only one who has not
Bam.
Bam McGarra has not figured it out. But you like Jamie Kennedy, all those guys have talked about how they have had to fight for sobriety in their life, and they said it is such a sweeter life being sober and being able to be alive, because there was a really good chance none of those guys would have made it through.
They're very lucky. Like some of the stories like Steve-O talks about like his eyeball popping out and this crazy stuff. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny Knoxville too.
Yeah.
Them guys were insane.
Yeah.
What was their newest one they just did that we watched?
What?
Their newest movie? It doesn't have Bam in it because
He didn't show up.
The fourth one?
yeah. It's still good, even even with them being sober. Like it's still
funny.
funny.
They still know how the fun together. I think the issue they've talked about with Bam is that he can't stay sober.
Right.
He just outright can't, and he won't. And there's nothing within him that wants to be.
Right.
And he just kind of wanders through life, and people just continue to support him because hey, Bam Margera. And so he goes from RV to RV, camp to camp, place to place. Trying to raise, money on Patreon, or sometimes I don't know where he gets his money from, but he gets from something, and it's heartbreaking because that's a kid who never grew up. Mm-hmm. He's older, but he never grew up and out of his life that was harming him. And at some point, we're going to hear about Bam Margera, and it's not going to be good news. So if you're listening out there and you've got friends, or like the sober life is where it's at. Like I tell you as somebody who's watched friends. Who've battled that and have come out of that. It's not easy, but it's a life worth living because you want to live to see the rest of it. So there you go. That's our message for today. After that whole.
Well, it's fitting too with Chris Farley.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Like Chris Farley, even John Belushi, John Belushi. I mean, his issues with alcohol and drugs and substance abuse. We lost a lot of good quality actors and actresses and comedians.
I mean, John Candy.
John Candy. A lot of those guys. It was substance abuse. It was stuff that took over their lives, and nobody was willing to really get in there and help and try and save them. And so that's the rough part, because you can't watch Beverly Hills Ninja without knowing that in a year Chris Farley's dead.
Yeah, that's crazy to know that now.
Yeah. Well, and they originally, I think I said this before, they originally had planned or had possibly thought about having Chris Farley be in Shrek.
He was going to be the voice of Shrek.
Yeah, there actually is footage.
Yep, of his voice recorded.
That would have been epic.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is. It's very strange because Chris Farley's his characterization of Shrek is far more emotional and far more childlike. And it's very weird hearing that voice out of Shrek's mouth.
Yeah.
I think what we got was what we needed, but it would have been very interesting to see Chris Farley take that role and do something with it. But because he died shortly after they did that footage,
someone who was his co-star.
Yeah.
Someone who worked with him in SNL.
Yeah, Mike Myers was also one of his best friends. Like, there's all this
connections.
Yeah, SNL was a big part of their lives. So there you go.
Which they're making a movie about for some reason.
Yeah, they are.
I think it's a cool idea, actually.
Well, it's an intense movie about the first season of SNL.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. Yeah, it's that. You think you know about that first season of SNL? Oh boy, you do not know.
Well, I started watching Will and Harper.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's
so
really.
far.
We've only watched about half of it because she went to bed. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay. Well, there you go. Anything else you want to close with?
What should we do next?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Well, we could do another Chris Farley, or we could get into some Happy Madison. Because I know we wanted to do both.
Do we do Happy Gilmore because they're making a sequel?
I would like to see it again. It's been a long time.
I've never seen it.
I think Happy Gilmore
That's like the
is
one
the
I
first
haven't seen.
Happy Madison
Okay.
movie. So
We're going to go for Happy Gilmore.
Hooray!
Happy.
I have a request for Halloween.
Okay.
Can we do Young Frankenstein for Halloween?
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I think
Because you
so.
still haven't seen
I've
the movie.
only seen the play.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Which was really good.
the movie is a classic for
Right.
sure.
Well, I'm glad we're skipping the rating for this.
Hi, cool.
Oh, we're not skipping
No,
the
we're
rating.
Oh, I
For
thought.
Haha.
now that you mentioned it,
no.
you brought it up. We got to
we
do
don't
it.
have to do it.
No, we do. We got it. It's a
And
big.
Vicky has to start.
Oh, don't make me.
I didn't say it. Zoe did. I had no. I like that laugh out of her, like the evil witch's cackle.
We've been practicing all day with her. songs that we've been.
That's kind of true. We were listening to Nightmare Before Christmas on the way
nice.
back.
Okay. So what would you rate this movie?
Oh, I really do have to start.
Yep, you do. Zoe is getting a lot of pleasure out of this, an unusual amount. She's enjoying this.
The
way-
lowest
way too
rating
much.
I've ever given something
It's
under my
okay.
Screenlight. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Oh no!
This ain't the lowest. There ain't no way you're ranking this lower than Pinocchio.
What was you rating for Pinocchio?
What did I rate it for Pinocchio?
I don't know. I don't
know.
remember.
I think we all blacked that out.
Yeah.
I think we were all like 001.
I think so. That's true. Okay. This is not lower than
the
Pinocchio. 'Cause there are
second
parts
low.
that I did think were funny and parts that I appreciated, which is why
Yeah.
it's not getting lower than a 4. But
okay.
it's not a movie I would watch again. It's not something I would put in the middle of like neutral.
Okay.
It's a movie overall I think back and it's not my favorite. That's why it's getting a 4.
Okay. That's
That's
fair.
my score.
Okay. Phil?
10.
Okay.
It's in my top 10.
Yeah. That's fair. Zoe?
I would give it a 10. It's very nostalgic for me too.
Yeah. I would give it a 9 if it wasn't for, actually, no, sorry. Yeah, 9. If it wasn't for the scene, the adult entertainment location, and then the laughing mushrooms or whatever, it would be a 10. Because it's a weird kind of tonal shift in the movie. I'm just like, okay, like you really went a little manic and then you went inappropriate. So
Yeah.
take those two things out and we're great. But yeah, I'd say a 9. It's a lot of fun. It's as funny as I thought it was, and because I was worried after you saw it.
It's just my sense of humor. Well, like we've watched the Pink Panther together,
Yeah.
and you're cackling the whole time,
Oh,
and
I
I'm
love it.
like silent.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Probably just that kind of thing for me.
Yeah, it's okay. Everyone has different things that they like, and that's just okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. The bridge is on fire, but it's fine. Okay.
Slightly patronizing, but it's fine.
No, I'm not. Patronizing would have a whole other tone of voice.
So let's not fight.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I was going to patronize you, which I very rarely ever do. I'd be like, oh, it's okay. Like that would be patronizing, and you would not like that.
No.
No.
You see the look in my eyes I'm giving you right now.
Yeah. No
You
patronizing.
almost gave it half, so I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
It's fine.
that's legit.
All right. Well, that was Beverly Hills Ninja. If you're interested in watching a movie that is
Killer soundtrack.
Yeah, it is. It's got a good soundtrack.
At least get the soundtrack.
True.
Yeah, the soundtrack has got good quality. It's a good movie.
We should have listened to that today.
Oh,
there you go.
yeah.
There you go.
But we listened to Nightmare Before Christmas. That
That's
was
fair.
great.
Yes,
worked
it
out.
was.
It worked out in the end. All right. Well, next week will be what?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy
Gilmore.
Gilmore, and that'll. We're gonna.
I'm
see-
excited about
We'll
that
see
one.
if nostalgia holds up.
True.
It involves Bob Barker getting punched.
Screw you, clown.
I want to know if they actually did film in Augusta. Probably not,
no
but I'm
idea.
going to look it up.
We'll bring you all.
Because that would be interesting to bring up in the next episode.
We'll
if I
bring you
did.
all the trivia and facts that you can stuff in your hat or something. I don't know. I don't have
Hat.
a metaphor for that.
Oh, tape.
Oh,
Okie dokie. As they say in Fallout, okie dokie.
Yeah.
yeah.
When is the second season coming
I
out,
haven't-
though?
I have
I'm
not
waiting
heard-
for a lot of second seasons right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday, second
and the
season.
final one of Stranger Things.
Yeah. We're due for some good stuff, which will allow us to have some more content,
Yeah.
continued content for the podcast. All right. Well, my name is Aaron.
I am Phil.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Zoe.
This has been Nerds by Screenlight. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your week. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to do your homework.
And
Public
take,
service
Someone out
announcement.
there needs to remember to do their homework.
and
I
take
just reminded
and take your vitamins.
Yep.
And do your exercises.
And get sleep.
And get your stress.
And
get-
drink water.
Yeah. And do your stretches.
And wash
Bye-bye.
the dishes.
Bye.
Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never ending sunshine. How could I ever let you go now? Can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never ending sunshine.
The raspberry flapovers will be out in a moment. The kitchen is closed.